Do you major in minor things? Jim Rohn, the motivational speaker, said, learn how to separate the majors and the minors. A lot of people don't do well simply because they have major in minor things. Jim Rohn. How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery, and today I wanted to talk about specialising in minor things, just concentrating too much on minor things. When you're quitting drinking, I think one of the worst things that you can do is to try and focus too much on the details about what's going to happen in the future. You know, where are you going to take this, and where is this going to take you? Where's your new life going to take you? And I tell you, it can really stall your progress. You know, it can make a lot of people think twice about doing it because they fear the unknown. Oh, big spider. That was a big boy. Yeah, a lot of people stall the whole thing because they fear the unknown. They don't really want to put themselves into territory where they feel real uncomfortable, and they don't do it. You know, they just bottle it, you know, before they've even started. And a lot of the reason for this is because they've really talked themselves out of it with thinking about stuff that doesn't really matter, you know, stuff that might never happen. You know, this is the big problem. You know, when you, especially when you look at it on the internet, right? When you start out in this journey and you get to your last week, say, before you quit, and most people will start looking on the internet for, you know, help, advice, a little bit of guidance here and there to see, you know, what to expect, you know, and expectations can be ruinations, right? They can stop you from doing things, because a lot of the people that are on the internet have got this buzz that they're going to be forever alcoholics, right? That, you know, one day leads into the next day, and they never get away from the disease, right, of alcoholism. They're always going to be an alcohol. And you can see pride in these people in the fact that every day they get up and they beat this thing, you know, 20, 30 years later, and they're still harping on about how they beat alcohol. You know, it's just bullshit. It's holding on to something which is ruining them, you know. It's stopping them from moving forward and moving away from alcohol. It's like somebody who has got their first love, right? Or they are married to somebody that they really care about, and the other person does whatever and falls out with them for whatever reason and wants a divorce, or, you know, wants to separate, or doesn't want to go out with them anymore, you know. But this person goes, yeah, you know, every day I'm sort of getting up and I'm thinking about that person, and they're the love of my life, but, you know, they'll always be there in my heart. They'll always be a part of me. But, you know, I just take it one day at a time, and I'm sort of, I don't know how I'm ever going to move on to another relationship and stuff, you know. And the other person's off, you know, with their new partner. You know, they might be getting married and having kids and stuff, and they don't give a fuck. You know, that's what it is, you know. It's this problem where what you focus on is what you basically keep in your life, right? It's what grows in your life. And if you carry on focusing on the alcohol, and if you keep the alcohol as this is something that you're eternally fighting the good fight against, then, you know, fuck the alcohol. Alcohol has got no grip on you at all. You have the grip on yourself. You know, if you say to yourself over and over and over again, oh, I'm never going to get away from alcohol. Alcohol is a beast. Alcohol is the devil. Alcohol is the you know, is whatever it is that you're putting alcohol on this big high pedestal, then that's exactly where it's going to be. That's where it's going to stay in your mind. You know, alcohol is nothing if it's not inside your body. It's nothing if it's not inside your mind. And there's only one person that lets alcohol inside your mind, and there's only one person that allows alcohol to have that status of, you know, being the demon drink and having that hold over you, and that's you. You know, I'm 3.5 years off alcohol. I drank alcohol for 30 odd years, 33, 34 years, right? Now, if alcoholism was a disease, I would be now going, oh, every time I see a pint of Guinness, you know, I just get all faint and queasy, and I feel like, you know, it has a hold on me. It's bullshit. It doesn't have any hold on you. You know, sometimes I feel, right, when I go into I haven't been into a pub in a long time that serves good Guinness anyway. Good Guinness. See, that's one of my old things coming back on me, and it was proof of the pudding, you know. This is the old brainwashing, you know, good Guinness and bad Guinness, you know. It's all fucking bad Guinness, you know. It's all full of toxins. But, you know, we don't see that. We see it as being something else, you know. It's something that's part of our lives. And like I say, if I was to walk into a bar, one of these old traditional bars in Ireland that I used to love, where you get this good pint of Guinness, then I think I'd get nostalgic about the whole thing, right? The whole nostalgia of sitting in the bar, chatting to the barman, chatting to somebody who happens to be in the corner. But I can do that anyway. I don't need to poison myself to do that. I don't need to sit in a bar and do this day in and day out for the rest of my life. You know, all these things are just mirages, you know. They're the emperor's new clothes, and it's all done to ourselves, really. So I guess the topic of this video is don't concentrate on the minor things, right? Concentrate on the bigger picture, on the major things in your life, on the goal that you're heading out towards. Now, I think by all means, if it's a positive thinking, if that's what you're doing, if you're thinking about the future, if you're thinking about how you can replace the alcohol, right, how you can replace your old lifestyle, then by all means, right, you can look down into the details. You know, it's better off. You're better off chunking things down, breaking things down into the smallest possible chunk in order to move forward and make progress, right? Because you only make progress bit by bit. But when you're looking at the negative side of it, when you're looking at quitting drinking and what might happen, right, this is not productive. It doesn't do anything for you except put barriers in your way, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to lift the barriers, destroy the barriers that are in your path, put barriers to ever going back. That's, you know, a good idea. But lift any barriers that are hindering you from making your own progress, right? You know, when you start thinking about quitting drinking and you go, well, you know, how am I going to sleep? How am I going to socialise? How am I going to relax? If you're not doing this in a positive way, right? If you're doing this in a negative way, then it's going to drag you back, right? If you're doing it in a positive way, you can think, well, how am I going to sleep? Right, how am I going to sleep, right? So what if I don't sleep? What's the worst outcome for me? What's the worst possible scenario? You know, I lose a few days sleep, but I lose the alcohol. Which is the worst, you know, carrying on drinking the alcohol or losing the few nights sleep, you know, and putting up with the discomfort that that's going to cost you. It's not going to kill you, you know. I was reading about Oliver Reed. I don't know if probably everyone's heard about Oliver Reed, and He died many years ago, and he died in a bar in Cork. And it's a sad story, because the guy was a heavy drinker all his life, and he just got into the whole thing. You know, he was mad into drinking. You know, but he was trying to stop, and he was doing his best to stop. And the problem was, he went into a bar in Cork, and he was goaded into having a session, you know, and drinking a lot of booze, you know, because he had this reputation. And you know, he let the best get over him, and he had a heart attack right there on the stool. And you know, so sad. For I mean, it was one of my favorite actors, because of the way he was. You know, he was just I mean, he was an asshole to some people, but he was one of those actors that, yeah, it just, whatever, you know, it's all the personal thing, and it's how you react to somebody, you know. And yeah, I think he reminded me of one of my uncles. So, but the point is that if you think about all these things in a negative way, if you think about the details, and you start narrowing down the details of all the things that might go wrong, and all the things that might cause you pain and discomfort once you stop, you blow all these things up in your mind to something that they shouldn't be. You know, as I said, fear is a product of your own mind. It doesn't exist, you know, outside of the individual. You know, I'm not saying that fear exists in an animal, right? Fear exists in a human. Fear exists in probably us all, right? But it's a product of the mind. It's a reaction to what's going on outside. And you don't have to react that way. You can react in a different way. It's the same way you can react in a different way to your preparation. You can prepare yourself well, prepare yourself strongly by thinking about the positives and forgetting about the alcohol, because the alcohol is one thing. Once you stop drinking alcohol and don't drink anymore, that's that finished, right? You know, there is no more to it than that. Moving forward is all about restructuring your life, restructuring that framework that has allowed you to drink alcohol all these years, right? That has, you know, that's been a part and parcel of your alcohol drinking all these years. That's what you have to do. So you have to forget about the fear of quitting. Quitting is nothing, right? Push your energies and your focuses on the future. Think about the details in that aspect and how you're going to move forward day by day by day by day, and put up with the discomfort for a few days of what you're going to go through, you know, whatever you're going to go through. And I guarantee you that the less you think about alcohol, the less time you give it, the less influence it will have over your mind. You know, and even there, you know, I talk about the influence that alcohol has over your mind. Alcohol has got no influence over your mind. It's your mind having influence over your mind. And, you know, it's not as if we've got sort of two different, it's not as if we've got two different minds or four different minds or whatever. It's one mind, and you're the one that's in complete control of it, right? And you're the one which tells your mind which direction to go, which thought to think, what to think about, how to think about it, how long you're going to think about it, how much effort you're going to put into thinking about it. This is all your mind. This is what you can do. You can change your mind every time. You know, you direct your mind. You can direct your mind. You direct your mind. And that direction, whether it's forwards into the future, backwards into the past, is completely up to you. It's your control. You have the control to do it. So, you know, what's the problem? The problem is that we don't think we have that control. We think we can't help it, that we've got all these things called cravings and side effects. These are all a product of the mind. You know, they're a reaction of your mind to the physical happenings of your body, right? If you've been drinking alcohol for a long time and you stop drinking alcohol, you're obviously going to have physical consequences, right? But if you carry on drinking alcohol, you're also going to have physical consequences. Now, which physical consequences would you rather have? The ones that you're inevitably going to get when you carry on drinking alcohol, or the ones that are going to stop, are the ones you're going to get when you quit drinking? And you know, the ones that you get when you quit drinking are far, far less than the ones that you're going to get if you carry on. That's the simple logic of this, right? It's a simple equation. There's no getting around that. You know, so look, I want to finish this off by saying that every step you take in the right direction, every thought you think in the forward momentum direction, in the one that's making you, giving you progress, gives you strength, right? Builds on your strength, adds to your momentum, brings you forward and forward and forward. It keeps tugging you forward bit by bit. Every negative thought that you have in the opposite direction, every time you break down your the minor things about the drinking and start thinking about what might happen, and you know, the things that what could have happened, what should have happened, that negativity brings you backwards and it destroys your confidence. It breaks your faith down in yourself. So look, you know, if you're going to break things down into the smaller minor things in life, then break down your goals into smaller things. You know, that's going to make you progress, and progress is what this is all about, progress in the right direction. You know, if you go in the wrong direction, it's not progress at all. It's, you know, it's regressing. You don't want that. So, look, if you have any comments at all, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to think about this. Come on over to the website, sign up for the newsletter. There's going to be a new course on the newsletter, just a short course on preparation, so I'm not sure if it's going to be up by the time this video is published. But it's all free anyway. Subscribe, like and share the video, this video. Until next time, stay safe, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, and you know, try to think about the bigger picture. Think positive, you know, there's no point in thinking negative. Positivity makes you happy. Positivity puts a bright spin on everything, you know. Don't think negative. Negativity just, all that's going to bring you is sadness, you know. What's the fucking point of being sad? It's not nice. Anyway, until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Onwards and upwards.